based on what you said, you mentioned that savings is something that's like your rainy day fund, right?
Yeah.
So what metrics would we use to know if we have enough emergency funds?
Yeah, I think that's again another great question. And let me again quote some data, which is, it again, honestly, it worries me, but it is important that the youth of the country understand and appreciate what I'm trying to explain. So there is a Department of Statistics report by the Malaysian government. And some of these data are quite I would say worrisome, but I'm just quoting a few ones. In fact, more than 2/3 of the people who are into their own businesses, the self-employed workplace in Malaysia, as per the Department of Statistics, they have savings which will last them less than a month. And I'm talking about almost 70% of the self-employed population of Malaysia. Then, if you look at the private workforce, which is people like me who work in a private organization, again, the survey says that they have money in savings which will last them only 2 months. And if we move to the third block of employees of Malaysia, which is government employees, people who work in the government, they have slightly better. They have about, on an average, of 4 months of savings. So it's quite varied. So from anything between 1 to 4 months. But my personal belief and the golden rule, if you see any investment philosophy, is that every person should have 6 months of a buffer in a very safe product, which can be treated as emergency funds. And how do you calculate what you mean by 1 month, 6 months of savings? So you have to see what are your total liabilities. So how much rent are you paying? How much installments are you paying for your home loan, auto loan, other HP, etc. You need to compute your lifestyle. So are you spending 1,000 ringgit a month on your lifestyle? How much are you spending on insurance? So let's say all of that comes to about, let's say 3,500, 3,000 a month. Then I would strongly urge all of the students on this call today that their first goal as they get into the workforce should be to set aside enough money that at the earliest they can reach that 6-month golden rule, that you should have enough cash available to last you 6 months in case of an unforeseen event. And what better time to realize this than the current pandemic? I mean, if you see today, unfortunately, we have seen industries collapse. We have seen a difficult period for the world, not just Malaysia. And every day you read the news, you hear about unemployment growing, people not going out, no opportunities for a lot of people. I mean, you look at Malaysia in particular. I mean, we were a very heavy tourism dependent country, and you see what has happened. Airlines have suffered, hotels have suffered, retail shopping has suffered. So travel agents have suffered, taxi operators, people who were running Grabs, everybody is in a difficult period. And remember, when this difficult period started in around April, everybody thought it will go away in a month. Everybody thought that the virus will go away at best by the summertime. But unfortunately, it has lasted for more than 6 months so far, and we still don't have any cure for it. I'm not saying every situation will be as bad as the coronavirus. Hopefully it never is. But I would say the golden rule should be 6 months of money, which should be saved in a very simple, secure savings bank account or in a fixed deposit in a bank. Is something that each of you should aspire to build at the onset of your career.
Well, fair enough, Mr. Rakesh. So just to summarize that, so 6 months of emergency funds to cover all our financial needs. And I concur, Mr. Rakesh, that the situation does look bleak. I think just today, Tengku Zafrul said that it's up to khazana to deal with Mars, and no, it's not doing really well at the moment as well. So in this bleak economic scenario, what would your top 3 tips for students that are just about to graduate? The top 3 things they need to know, or in terms of finance.
Okay, sure. In fact, instead of 3, let me tell you 4, which I think are very relevant for every individual. In fact, frankly, these 4 rules don't change for anyone, whether you are a fresh graduate who's going to be entering the workforce for the first time, or you are somebody who's been working for many years. I think the 4, I would say, the important rules that you should follow. First is you have to set a goal. And that is most important. You have to think, what is your goal as when it comes to savings and investments? I mean, are you somebody, I mean, because every person has different backgrounds, every person has different circumstances, every person has a different family support. So depending on your individual situation, you need to identify a goal for yourself. So is retirement planning the most important goal for you? Or is buying your first house the most important goal for you? Or is trying to already start to save for a very good education for your children a very important goal for you? It could be anything. It could be a simple thing like planning a very good vacation, or sending your parents to Hajj, or it can be anything. It could be a goal. So I would say most important is to set a goal for yourself, and that is something that everybody has to think for themselves, and that is something that becomes like your goalpost, which then you use various strategies to adopt to reach that goalpost. The second very important point you should remember is risk profile. Every person has a different risk tolerance. Every person has a different risk behavior. Everybody responds to risk differently. And this, every individual should know for themselves. And there are quite a few tools available, online tools. There are a lot of psychometric tools available free on Google, which you can just search to see your risk profile. And what I mean by risk profile is that some people feel very comfortable by investing money in property. Some people feel very comfortable investing money in the stock market. Some people feel very, very, they find it very scary to even put money even in a bank, and they're happy to keep money at their house. So every person has a different risk profile, and it's very important to know what kind of a risk profile do you have, and basis that you should decide where you should start saving and putting your money. So second very important thing. I think the third thing, which is again a very important factor in your decision making, is your tenure. I mean, when do you think you will need the money? Are you planning for your children's education? So which probably is 20 years from now. So you can invest in slightly higher risk products, because higher risk products give you higher returns, but they can be very volatile. So you have to live with it for many, many years. Do you need money? Maybe you set a goal that you want to go for a vacation next year. Then of course you have to have a different behavior and a different savings plan. So understanding the tenor is a very important factor when you decide on how and where to invest. And to me, the fourth point, which I call as a power of compounding, I mean, that's a very, very important point that you should all keep in mind. I don't know if you, I mean, simply explain, compounding means interest on interest, which means when you start saving for year one, you earn some interest. And if you leave that money in the bank account next year, you earn interest on the principal as well as the interest you had earned the last year. So it's very important to think about it. Let me give you a very small example. I think most of the people who are graduating, let's assume that they are of the age of 25. So let's take 3 different students, okay, who have entered their work life. So the first one, heard the speech today from Rakesh Kaul and decided that I will start saving 250 ringgit every month from day one. But after 10 years of working, he decided, no, I think I've done enough. I don't want any more. Then another student who wasn't paying too much attention to my conversation decided, I don't want to do anything. Let me live my life. Let me party hard. And I will start saving at the age of 35, all the way till retirement at 65. And then there was a third student today who was hearing me loud and clear and thought that this data is quite scary. So let me start saving 250 ringgit every month, all the way till I retire at the age of 65. So let me tell you the difference in that same 250 ringgit a month. What does it become at the end of 65 years for the three students? So the person who is invested for 10 years and stopped at the age of 65, they will get 503,000 ringgit back. The person who didn't start saving early enough and started only at the age of 35 will get 379,000 ringgit back. But the person who had a disciplined way of saving 250 ringgit each month, all the way till he retired, will have 878,000 ringgit in the bank balance at the end of 65. And I've assumed a return of 8% compounded. So look at the difference between the power of compounding. So all these 4 points that I've spoken are important when you decide on which areas to put your money in. So these are 4 tips that I would like all of you to think about and keep in mind.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rakesh. Just to restate them to my friends, that we have a goal: learn your risk profile, figure out your tenure, and also understand the concept of compounding and utilize it. So those were great tips, sir. But how about, what tips would you have for students who are not particularly difficult to stick to it or craft these habits? What would you say to graduates like this?
So I would say that that believe in the data that I'm sharing with you. It's a real data which is published by your own government, which is clearly telling us that as a Malaysian community, we are not well prepared for retirement, and it's not a good thing, honestly. I would say that yes, as young people, you have all the rights to live your life, to enjoy your freedom, to work hard, party hard, as they say. But I would just say that don't take your eyes off the goals that you have set aside for yourself. I mean, what worries me that I was reading another report from the Prime Minister's office, and it said that close to 1,000 people between the age of 18 and 35 have got bankrupted in the first 6 months of this year, and out of which 100 have come from the age of 31 to 35. So this, usually in the past, bankruptcies used to happen when people were very old, 60s, 50s, maybe 45 onwards. But now this is a new trend that we are noticing, that a lot of people are over leveraging. They are spending beyond their means at a very young age. And if they don't have a strong savings culture or a strong investments discipline, it can go out of proportion, and it can lead to challenges like bankruptcies or having a bad credit record in the credit bureau, and which then takes away all opportunities of any credit from any bank in the future. So I mean recently, the government came out with a rule that people who don't pay their PTPT and loans properly, they won't be allowed to fly out of the country. They won't get any loans. So I would say that people who don't have a strong habit may have some difficult circumstances to face. So my advice to all of you would be, yes, enjoy life. You've just started working, but don't move away from the goal that you have set for yourself for your investments and savings. So that would be my recommendation and my advice to all of you who are listening to this talk today.
Thanks, sir. So what would be the signs that an individual has crafted good financial habits by the time they graduate? or at least a few years after they graduate? Like what metrics can they say, okay, you know what, I'm doing a good,
yeah,
I'm on a good path?
I think that one's quite simple. So I'm sure most of you who are studying, you know, the most of, I mean, when I was a student at your age, I would depend on my parents' pocket money to survive. So if you have by the first week of the month spent all your pocket money, and then you are struggling to spend for the rest of the month, then obviously you need to learn, and you need to be a better financial planner. I would say that the first discipline comes from the fact that how often do you overspend from your pocket money. I think that is a good learning. Yes, there will be times when you will end up doing that. If you're trying to help a friend, or if you want to buy something which is really, really appealing to you, but that shouldn't be the case every month. So I would say basically these days there are lots of tools available free online. There are lots of apps which just basically tell you your income and your expenditure. So being disciplined about at least knowing where are you spending is the first start to having a disciplined financial habit. I think all of us, all of you who are going to be who will start to spend for your own money, when you start working. I think it's a good idea to maintain a diary or an app to just keep a record for the big items that you spend on, and that basically sets a very good discipline as you continue to grow in your careers.
Thank you, sir. Our final question for today is running short of time. Would be that many students are keen on developing passive income. Me personally, I use Stashaway. However, it's very daunting world out there. You know, it's filled with MLMs. You get bombarded with forex trading and this and that. Would you be able to give us any tips on how to navigate this landscape and be able to grow our passive income in a safe or recommended way?
Sure. I think yes, passive income is a great idea. Honestly, this is a philosophy that has been propagated by all the financial wizards of the world, saying the faster you can start to earn passive income, the better it is. But remember, everything needs hard work and everything needs research. Remember, this is your hard-earned money. Don't invest on hearsay. Don't invest just because you heard 5 people at a coffee shop talking about a particular investment. Don't invest just because of a herd mentality. Often in such circumstances, very few people gain and a lot of people lose. And unfortunately, we only hear the stories of people who have made some good money, but we don't hear of thousands of stories where people lost money in the same bargain. So my suggestion for building a passive income will be start by simple products, start by banking products, where you start to get returns. Let them sit in the bank so that you get the benefit of compounding. At your age, I would say one of the best ways to start earning a passive income is to start investing in unit trusts, because unit trusts, when you look at the world average, when you look at Malaysia's average, certainly in a long time horizon, do give you returns which are far superior than bank returns or bank fixed deposit returns. And I think these days there are a lot of opportunities to start very small businesses, partnerships with your friends in setting up some small stalls or very, very small opportunities. But whatever passive income opportunity you get, you must build, because it's a proven theory that the more money you save, the more confident you are. And having that kind of money in your bank, or having that adequate saving and having that adequate investment with you, gives you a psychological advantage. It gives you a different kind of confidence, and it allows you to take risks and chances which people with less savings or no savings will sometimes shy away from. So I would say go in steps. Start with simple banking products, move to unit trusts, and within unit trusts there are many asset classes which continue to give you more reward for the more risk you take. But do it with proper research, engage professionals, and let your money grow. I think that there is another golden rule which says a little a day goes a long way. So the power of small savings, is very, very huge. So believe in that and let that passive income grow. And over a period of time, you'll be surprised how that small $20, $50 saving every month, $100 saving every month can become a very large capital for you to take bold decisions as you get older.
Thank you very much, sir. That was really a lot of wise words from you and a lot of information, I believe, for everyone listening. So that actually wraps up our moderated questions. So I would like to open the floor. So we only have time for two questions of the Q&A session. So to the students watching, does anyone want to ask a question to Mr. Rakul? Feel free to raise your hand in the chat box if you have a question. Yes, we have one. So we have a question from Yan Ming Boom. What was the best way to get financially educated for youths?
Oh, that's a very, very good question. I must say that, because I agree, because I've spent 23 years in banking. So all of these terms, all of these principles come very naturally to me. I would say probably, there are very good courses available online. There are lots of opportunities to do. I mean, you don't have to, spend years and years, but some of you who are interested in the finance world, there are professional courses available like the CFA, etc., etc. But for people who just want simple education, again, if you go online, there are lots and lots of videos available. There are lots of education tools available online. If you simply just type, financial health, or if you would just type how to invest or how to save, there will be lots and lots of content available online. And you can be assured that you will find it very useful. But like I said, go to content which is reliable, and a lot of banks conduct seminars. You can walk into any branch of a respectable bank and just tell them that you want some knowledge about investment products. They will be more than happy to guide you. So there are quite a few avenues through which you can get that knowledge. And frankly, if this is a big need, I'm happy to have our RHB investment specialists to conduct a special camp for your university. If you think there are enough people who are keen to know more about financial education for their, which can be a proper, detailed, a more thorough session for giving that kind of advice to your students.
Thank you, Mr. Rakesh. I think we have time for a few more questions actually. And what you said about the investment seminar, yes, definitely. MSGA is looking forward for the next term to collaborate to do more events like this. However, based on the question right now, so we have one from Rennie Ting. What kind of financial prospects do you think will be available for the Gen Z when they graduate and start entering the corporate world, say in 5 years? I.e., do you think the financial landscape would be conducive for investment?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Remember, the financial world has been existing for over, thousands of years. And with every generation, there are better and better opportunities available. I've been with banking for 23 years, and myself personally, in the 23 years I've been with banking, the kind of advice, the kind of products, the kind of avenues which have opened up for people to invest, to save, have improved tremendously. And for your generation, as you are entering the workforce, you will be happy to know that now there is so much advice which is backed by artificial intelligence and machine learning tools, that there are such excellent applications available that makes investment so easy that you can do it on the fly. In the good old days, it was very cumbersome, very difficult, but as technology is advancing and as more and more Gen Z people are moving into the workforce, there is amazing amount of innovation which is happening in the financial world, which will support you And with over the next 4 years, 5 years, 3 years, there will be enough and more opportunities for all of you to invest. Like I said, the only thing you have to be very clear is your focus, having a goal and understanding your risk profile and believing in the fact that the more money you save at an early age, the better returns you will get in the future. But there will be lots and lots of avenues for all of you to invest in. There is amazing amount of innovation that will support you.
Thank you very much, sir. And that wraps up our session for today. I think we've all learned a lot. So before we end the session, I would like to implore all of the participants to turn on your cameras, as that will allow us to take a group picture. Yep. You know, turn on cameras, guys, and you know, look pretty. I hope you guys were able to gain a lot from the session, and we'll hopefully hold more like this in the future. So, okay, so I'll cue you guys. So in 3, 2, 1, smile everyone. Let's go for one more, yeah, one more. So in 3, 2, 1. Thank you everyone for your participation today. Mr. Rakesh, do you have any closing remarks you'd like to give to us?
Oh, I can just say start early. Start early is a golden rule. Don't wait to start saving, and have a goal. And when I say have a goal means traditionally people believe what they earn minus what they spend is equal to saving. In fact, you should do it the other way. What you earn minus what you have to save should be your spending. So just keep this golden rule in mind. Once you have your goal of saving, take that away from your income every month, and then whatever is left, go and spend it, not the other way. And if you, so that will make that discipline of saving a culture, and you will benefit it for many, many years to come. And you will be very happy with this decision of investing early, however small you want to do, but do it regularly and do it every month in a disciplined manner to see amazing results of compounding in the future. And the best investment you can make is in yourself. And another good investment you can make is by joining RHB.
Definitely, sir. Thank you so much for your time today. So for the participants, if you guys are interested, as Mr. Rakesh mentioned, do drop your CVs in here, as we do have a representative from HR department if you're looking for a career with RHB. This will be really helpful for you. So please click on the link in the chat box to submit your CVs. And with that, thank you everyone for joining today. Hope you all have a nice day. Stay safe, and do join us for future events. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. My pleasure. All the best to all of you, and stay safe. Thank you for this opportunity. Take care. Bye.
Bye. Yeah, guys, click on the link below and submit your CVs there. If you submit a CV in the chat box, it wouldn't do you much good. So for those who are still in session, if you want to leave us any feedback, feel free to leave it in the chat box as well. And do, for those who asked about financial education, MSGA is actually in the process of developing a platform which will enable you to educate yourself on your finance, on several other things. So do follow us on social media as well as on our website for further updates. But yes, there will be more sessions upcoming together with RHB in terms of finance, in terms of investment, etc. for you guys. Yep. So yep. Anyways, everyone, have a good day. Thank you.